Kanye West may have triggered a national dialogue about whether minorities should continue to toe the Democratic Party line. Bishop Aubrey Shines argues in a new Real Clear Politics piece that African Americans are being taught to fear President Trump and to ignore the adverse impact that illegal immigration has had on their communities. He's the Bishop of Glory to Glory Ministries and joins us from Tampa, Florida. It's great to see you. All right,
thanks,
Kanye,
Laura.
You on Kanye. I mean, this is just wild. But it's a column that was published today in the Washington Post about Kanye West. This is from columnist Danielle Wiggins. She said, Kanye West is wrong. Free thinking, not blind loyalty, drew black voters to the Democrat Party. While he touts an individualist notion of freedom, his fellow black Americans are voting with their eye toward freedom for all Americans, something he sadly doesn't seem to understand. Your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, Laura, I'm glad to be with you this evening. And while I don't necessarily share all of the misogyny that Kanye has put out in the West in the past, I'm glad that he's had an epiphany. And guys like myself, we've been doing this, and this is not our first rodeo. I'm glad, again, he's had this epiphany. But when I hear about this freedom from people like the Post and other super left-leaning organizations, really, it's pretty insulting. The real reason is because the Democratic Party has always been the party that have really kind of kept blacks on the plantation. They were the ones that gave you the KKK. They are the ones that also gave you slavery. They are the ones that gave you the Jim Crow laws. So I'm glad that there is a dialogue. And if Kanye is part of that conduit, I'm glad to hear that as well. I'm just glad that this dialogue is finally happening just outside of individuals like myself that have been doing this for a while.
You've been doing it for decades. I want to talk about illegal immigration. You are hot on this issue. Obama, back in 2006, in his book, The Audacity of Hope, highlighted illegal immigration as hurting the African-American community, depressing wages and so forth. We won't bother people with the passage. We don't have time. But he basically makes the point that the huge influx of cheap labor hurts the poorest communities. But now, Black America is supposed to be, yay, open borders. This is madness. Madness.
Yeah, well, it is madness. And this is what's so aggravating to me. It's not that blacks are, in my opinion, just adhering to it. It's those stations that are constantly pushing this and feeding that narrative to blacks. Here's the reality. Obama said it, and it was cool to say. Now that Trump is basically saying almost identical, the same exact thing, what has CNN done? They've kind of painted him as a racist. He's not a racist. This guy has done more for blacks in America, especially as it relates to the unemployment. My God, if one were just to look at the numbers, you can see it yourself. Black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment, it is at its lowest levels ever. And we're actually having a dialogue in America as to what the borders are doing. I tell you what they're doing, Laura. They're killing our poor white and black people in our inner cities because drugs are constantly flowing in. And it's not just jobs.
It's got to end. You know, it's got to end. We're going to have you back.
Of course, it's got to end.
On radio, Bishop Shines. Thank you so much for your perspective tonight.